What do you feel are the raw skills that has made you great at your job?
Ooh, do you know, you have to just kind of put the work in. You kind of have to just be on it. Be reliable, be trustworthy, be all those things.
Yeah.
But that does really matter in film because time is like, time is money.
Yeah.
Time is actual money. So you have to be reliable.
Yeah.
You kind of have to keep your spirits up, even though it's tough going, because everybody's struggling. You got to look after your fellow man. You know, teamwork is key up in this place, because if someone falls sick, you got to jump it, or, you know, if you need a tea, I'll get. Do you want a tea? I'll get. I'm not waiting for the PA. I'll get you a tea. It's absolutely fine. If you've got good spirits, like that really goes a long way.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Jobs. My name is Francis Arimo, and my goal is to help people get the career and the salary they deserve. Today, I'm with Francine Leach, a good friend of mine who's currently assistant editor for HBO. Francine, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Normally you're obviously behind the camera.
Yes. It was a little strange.
How do you feel to be in front of the camera right now?
Little weird, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
A little bit weird is fine. Yeah. Totally cool. Okay, cool. So my first question, I ask this all the time, is have you been fired before?
Oh, I have not been fired before.
So you're the first person that hasn't been fired before so far.
I like to remember, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's totally fine. Okay, so have you left the job abruptly?
Yes, I have done that. I have done that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm not going to ask you about the job yet.
Okay.
We can talk about that at a later stage. But I am interested in what was the emotions you was feeling that kind of said, I'm just going to leave.
Do you know what? I actually got offered an opportunity to work on like a creative hub, like a creative studio.
Right.
And I was just like, I'm going to take it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right now.
I'm just going to do it.
It's like the most crazy thing I think I've done yet. But it was very sporadic. It was very just like, I want to go live my dreams. It was that kind of thing.
Okay, cool. So let's rewind a little bit. Let's rewind a little bit. Okay, cool. So you're obviously from London.
Yes.
Okay.
Born and bred.
What area of London did you grow up in?
I am from northwest London.
Ooh. Okay,
North
cool.
Wheezy.
So did you go to university?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I actually went to De Montfort University in Leicester.
Yeah.
And I actually studied a different course. I did sound engineering to start with, and then I changed my course.
Wait, before we go in that direction, before we go into what you changed to, why did you do sound engineering?
Oh, do you know what? It was so random. I went through a phase of not knowing what to do, to be fair. And then I went to a tour around the BBC.
Okay.
And I was just like, this looks dope. Like, all these gadgets look fun. And I went back behind the scenes, I went in the gallery, and I loved it. But I always loved music as well. So they kind of went hand in hand. I thought, okay, what can I do? And I just discovered this whole field of like producing music and creating music. And I thought, okay, this looks dope.
Okay.
And I went down a rabbit hole. And I was like, want to do sound engineering. Of all things, I don't know. But that was it. And that was what I was going to do.
So how long did you do that for?
Like a year. Like 1 year. And I was like, no, I hate it now. Okay.
I hate this now.
I felt so bad as well because I was researching for so long, like 2 years. Told all my family, that's what I'm going to do.
I'm be a sound engineer.
I'm a sound engineer, guys.
That's it.
And I was like, no.
Okay, so you left the world of sound engineering. What did you do next?
So I actually took a course in media production.
Okay.
I always knew I was going to be in the media and art somehow.
Okay.
I just didn't know where. So I did media production, and I liked it because it was a mixture of things.
Yeah.
So you got to do a bit of broadcasting, a bit of 3D, a bit of web design. So I went down that road. Yeah. And that's when I found editing.
You found editing?
I found editing. And I like to believe it's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so you graduated. I'm going to skip forward a little bit. So you've graduated now. And then so after university, what was the first job that you did?
Oh man, like After uni, I think, what did I do? I went into a theatre production a bit randomly.
Okay.
And I got offered it while I was at uni, actually,
Okay.
to do some behind the scenes filming.
Okay.
So I did that, but I was also working just retail. Like, I was just working because I need a job.
Pay bills. Paying bills are important.
So sadly, I didn't get like a big break straight away. So I was doing this kind of theatre behind the scenes stuff, and I kind of got wrapped into doing more of the kind of production management rather than filming. And I don't know how that happened, but I kind of went a different road. And I was still working in retail. I was just doing my job. So I was kind of like bouncing between, freelancing on the side.
So I want to ask you about your retail, right? So when you worked in retail, do you want to say the name of the company?
Oh yeah, it was Neil's Yard.
Okay, perfect.
Great company, actually.
Great. Okay, cool. We love Neil's Yard. You should be
great.
a sponsor of the show if you won't. Do you remember what you were getting paid?
Oh gosh, I actually don't remember, but it was probably like £10 an hour or something like that.
Okay.
It wasn't crazy money.
Okay, fair.
But it was doable.
I mean, £10 an
I think
hour.
it was decent.
Straight after university.
I was like, it's all right, you know. It's all right. I remember I wasn't complaining.
All right.
That's all, for sure. I was like, this is good. This is good.
Get discounted products as well.
Just get discounted products. Yeah. Plus, I was working with my sister-in-law at the time.
There you go.
And it was actually really nice. It was really lovely.
A family affair.
And it was great. I was like, this is actually fine. Like, I could do this.
Who needs anything to do with media?
It's like, this is absolutely
When you find a good retail work, you find a good retail work.
Yeah.
So, when was your kind of first production project or your editing project? When did you move into that field, or did you wait a while? What happened?
What? I don't even remember the first thing. It was kind of like fluid because I always had my hand in it or foot in it or whatever. But I remember doing, I think my first big one actually was probably Drink, Drugs and KFC, which is a short film with Amel Amin.
Whoop.
And that was dope.
Superstar.
Actually, before that, I think I actually worked with his brother. That's a lie. I worked with his brother first, Mikel Amin.
Whoop, superstar.
Dope. I did a music video for him. I can't remember how we met. But we met and he did a music video for him and he was dope. He was so fun. And he was like, hey, my brother's doing this film. I'm like, oh my gosh, of course. And I went to do this movie with Amel, and both of them are just so fun. I felt like they were family straight away. You talk to someone and you're like, we just flow, man. We just flow. So that was probably my first big things to do, was that music video and then the film. Yeah. And to this day, that movie, it's like, to me, one of my favorite films because I did say to him, we need to do this. This needs to be a feature film. Yeah. Because it was such a fun movie and it was hilarious. And I just thought, this needs to be out there in the world. Yeah. But that was probably the biggest thing. Yeah. I can't remember what year that was, but
yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. That was it was years ago.
Oh, it was time. It was 2011? No, it wasn't.
I dare to say, I think it might have been 2011 or 2010.
Yeah, it was a hot minute.
It was a very long time ago. That was It might
have been actually.
Yeah, I think some of those people, I'm not going to go into it, but I think some of those people have gone on to do quite a lot of good stuff. I think one of them was in Top Boy.
Yeah, one was in Top Boy.
I've seen you before.
It's a couple they're definitely gone on to do some good things, actually.
And then obviously...
another guy's on Family Land, which I love. I was like,
yeah. It's crazy, right? I'm such a fan. Okay, cool. So you're doing freelance work.
Yeah.
I guess so. Let's talk about that short film that you did. So how was that for you?
Yeah.
Being on set. What was your role? Was it just the editing? What did you do in that?
So it was just editing.
Okay.
But I did go on set. They did invite me on set just to be there and to see how things go. If there's any additional shots that were needed that I thought of, which I didn't think of any of them. I was just like, I'm so fun to be here. Oh
I'm such a fan. I love this.
It was so great. I was like, this is fun. So it was like my first kind of big shoot, I say, that I was on set for. But it was good to see. I actually wanted to go to see the process and to see how things were done. To get an understanding, also to kind of visualize and speak to the director, who was a male, about kind of his vision on the film anyway.
Yeah.
And actually, I like that process because it helps. Because when you just get the footage, you're just like, well, I have no idea. So it's nice to talk to them and talk it through and be there and see what their vision is. But that was fun. That was shot in London as well, down the road in Kentish Town, I think. But it was so fun. Everyone was great. And it was a brilliant experience. I loved it. But I was just the editor on that.
Okay.
But it was great.
Okay.
Absolutely loved it.
Okay, so you're working in retail. You've done your short film.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the next big move for you? What happens next?
Gosh. I think I actually, what did I do next? Good Lord. I actually did, I was working with the creative studio next, actually. So I actually really wanted to not work anymore in retail.
Yeah.
Was like the goal. The goal was like, okay, I need to stop this. I need to get my big break.
Okay.
But I was just kind of flowing off people and doing music videos here and doing music things around. I actually quite liked being fluid like that as well. So I never really looked at film. I love film. I love shows.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was just working with people I knew.
Of course.
And it was great. And then I did this project with, a few friends of mine. And
you met me.
It's true. We did this whole, and I must say it was great in my opinion. It was great.
Yeah.
We were working as a creative studio, we had a graphic designer, we had web design, this whole thing. And we did a wicked shoot with Gracious K.
Yes, we did.
Remember that?
Oh, yes, we did.
Hands in the air.
That was such
Hand
a good
in the
shoot.
air.
Yeah,
It was
and we
fun.
did the one with Titchy Strider as well.
We did Teacher Strider.
Yeah.
Did another one with McKellamine again.
Oh yeah, we did.
And
McKellamine as well.
It was just fun. It was great.
We did a couple good music videos.
We had some good music videos up in there. So we were just creating and just flowing. And that was a good few years.
That was a good time.
Actually.
I can't deny.
Right.
That was a good time.
But that was the time when I was like, okay, maybe we can create the studio.
Yeah.
And that's when I wasn't even working retail then. I was straight focused on this.
Wait,
and
before.
All right,
I'm gonna before. We're rushing ahead because I know some of the story already.
It's true.
But let's go backwards to when you left the job abruptly.
Okay. This is true.
Set that scene. And then go into...
That's actually next. Is actually true. So I did the short film. I was still working retail. I worked in I worked in Apple. I worked in Apple. And
Apple, please be a sponsor of the
sorry.
show, regardless of what you hear next.
Sorry.
All right, cool.
I worked there.
I mean, they still love you. You're still an amazing person. It's totally fine.
They
But
hate
let's
me.
do it.
They don't know who I am.
They will though.
No. But oh my gosh, so I was working there, and we decided to do this creative studio.
Yeah.
And for me, that was huge. I was like, oh my gosh, I get to create my own stuff. Not even my own, but just work with other people as well and be totally involved and immersed.
Yeah.
Completely. And I thought, this is the first time I will do this.
Yeah.
Because normally I'm doing a job here, job there. Got my hands in different pots. So I just said, look, I gotta go. I'm just like, I'm out. I remember my manager was like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm going now.
Whoa, so wait.
So I felt so bad.
We didn't have this conversation. So wait, you told your manager I'm leaving now?
Yeah, because what it is that, okay, I knew I had to work full time.
Yeah.
Right. With the creative studio, I knew.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we'll start on Monday. And I think it was, I don't remember, it was like a Thursday or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, no, I'll start full time next week. So I went into work and I was like, I got a new job.
Wow.
And they were like, oh, okay, well, congratulations. And, your notice is 2 weeks. I'm like, well, I'm going now. So, wow. I'm going right now. They were like, what? I was like, I'm going now. And I've never done that before, honestly. And I probably wouldn't do it again. But it was very abrupt. And I felt so bad. But they were like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm going now.
I'm going now.
See you later.
I'm not even going to finish today. I'm just going to leave.
I was just like, bye, see you later, bye. Just ran, and I literally ran.
Thank you very much.
I didn't look back. I was just like, ah. But you know what it is? I think I could have done that in that job because there were so many of us.
Okay.
There were so many people working there that I felt a bit disposable anyway.
Okay.
So I think it was that. It was like, no one's going to rely on me and no one's going to miss me.
Okay.
It's fine.
I mean, they probably did miss you.
They probably did.
But I get it's fine. Okay, so now we're doing this creative studio.
Yeah.
I'm working with you. You're amazing. We did music videos.
The music videos,
which you pretty much
my
ran all the
gosh.
production for.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
And pretty much was the director of.
I know.
And pretty much did a bit of the editing as well.
Yeah, it was.
What else did we do?
Hands on deck.
Yeah.
All hands on deck. And we did a lot of graphic design. I learned a lot actually about graphic design working there as well. And web design, to be fair.
Yeah.
So it was just
Dreamweaver.
nice. Everything.
Back then.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it was good to just get, completely creatively emerged and to just talk to other creatives as well.
Yeah.
Because it was dope. Like, we had so many people on board that were like genuinely interested in design. Like, it wasn't just like, I'm just doing this for work. It was like, no, we love this.
Yeah.
And you can have a really good conversation. Yeah, we were doing like Creative Tuesdays. And we were doing was it Culture Monday or something like that?
Yeah.
It was fun. And we had a mixture of people on, I think we had, a couple of guys doing graphics.
Yeah.
And then we had, just a mixture of people working there. So it was great. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Then we did a whole course on graphic design.
Yeah.
And, I ended up filming like, doing adverts and things for that as well. And I thought that it was brilliant. I thought it was tough going at some points, but it's that kind of risk of thinking, okay, we haven't got loads of money coming in right now, but we hope to have clients soon, and we just have to make it work.
This month we don't really have any clients, but next month we have all the clients.
Just like
and so 8-hour weeks, everybody.
Just hopeful for the future.
We're gonna do 8-hour weeks for the next month, so we can finish all our projects.
It was insane sometimes. We'll be like, we ain't eating today. No, y'all, we ain't eating.
But
and then sometimes we ate good. So it was just like, that risk factor was real.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was real. But it did prepare my mind for the future, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so, so there's so much we could talk about. So I know we did. You're right. We did training videos. Oh, we did training videos as well.
Yeah.
To help with kind of learning and development.
Oh my goodness, forgot about that.
AKD.
Yeah.
And stuff we did with them.
I actually forgot about that.
I mean the adverts as well for different companies.
We're doing a YouTube as well. We did a whole YouTube channel. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had a YouTube channels as well that we were supporting.
That was so good.
Oh, that was so crazy.
It was a lot.
Okay, cool. So we did a lot.
We did a lot,
And then we music videos as well. So we had music videos.
Of course.
And all these interviews and everything else.
Exactly. It was kind of like anything. And it's funny because that was the time when like YouTube was popping off. Really, it was like YouTube was like really just started.
Yeah.
And looking back, I was like, I could have done so much more. I could have done so much more.
Come on.
But it was just like, we were just enjoying, and it was just like memes were just starting. All these things were just starting, and we were like, what is this? But we were getting in there with clients that were interested in having more video in their work, even corporate clients as well. Like, I think even food, like the restaurant was like, we need some videos and stuff. And we're like, whoa, and we're like,
that was fun.
That was like
that
visuals.
Was fun, yeah.
Are so, and then we started to realize that actually visuals are crazy right now.
Yes, everything.
I think Instagram was everything was like this. That was like the years of like social media was starting up and booming. Yeah. And we were just right in the middle of it. Like, which way do we go?
Okay, so unfortunately, or fortunately, depends if you look at it. It came to an end. I'll say fortunately, but that's neither here nor there.
Very true.
8-hour weeks was not fun. So that came to an end. What was next on the card for you?
So next was, I was actually working just before we left it. I think maybe it was the same time, but I was working in an office. Yeah. I was just working at a company called HCPC. Yeah. And so I took on this job just because I was like, I need some cash. Yeah. I need some cash. So started working in an office as a personal assistant. Yeah. So while I was working there, I was connected with people I knew that I've met along the way. And there was one person I knew called Andre from this company called Threads. Yeah. And we really built a brilliant relationship, and I was working with them pretty much up until now, actually. Yeah. Just doing freelance work with them and all sorts of projects, socials, promos. They did a lot of fashion at the time.
Yeah.
And that have advanced to like having their own studio and etc. So that was a main contact for me, I think.
Okay.
Once I kind of finished this creative studio, because I was like,
Yeah.
I need something now. I need something creative.
So whilst you had your role as a PA,
Yes.
you were doing freelance work with Fred.
Yeah.
Was it anything else you was doing, or it was?
It was. I think it was mostly that. What was I
Okay.
doing on the side?
So how frequently would you work with them?
Oh, it'd be like. I mean, it would be so random. Probably be like twice a year, 3 times a year, maybe once. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But it'll be whenever they need something. Really, they'll call me on. But it would be very slow going because I was working full time.
Yeah.
So it would be like weekends, evenings,
Okay.
here and there.
Okay. So then, how was that for you? Because you're working, you're doing freelance work.
Oh man,
Like,
I was a bit upset. I was
Okay.
because you know what? It was like I did not want to go back to doing the double life.
Of course.
The double life, but I couldn't leave the full-time job
Okay.
at that moment because
Okay.
I needed money.
Of
I needed to
course.
pay some bills.
of course,
So I had to keep that going, and that was regular income.
of course.
But a part of me did want to leave
Yeah.
because I thought these guys I was working with were just they were so great, and I had many opportunities. I mean, they were calling me all the time, like, come to, but we got something for you, man. You got a home. I was like, oh, no, I can't. But they couldn't pay me what I needed to be paid.
Okay.
That. So yeah, it was a bit of a struggle because
Okay.
deep down I wanted to just do what I had to do.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
passion was still burning.
Passion was still burning, man.
for the editing and everything else.
Yeah.
But we needed money. We needed to figure that out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
fine. So how long did you stay working in corporate
Yeah.
as a PA or whatever it was before you said
I was
it's
there.
time?
It was a good 5 years.
5 years? Okay.
It was a
wow.
good 5 years.
Okay. So
And the
then
5
what-
years didn't feel like 5 years.
for like 5 years. Okay, so then what happened on year 5 that made you say,
Oh man, I think it happened that year 3.5 in all.
okay, what
I was like,
happened in
I
year
can't-
3.5
can't
that
do
led
it.
to year 5?
I can't do it. You know what? There was a moment. There was a moment where I was like, maybe editing's not for me. Maybe it's not for me.
Okay,
So I just carried on in this company,
yeah,
and I actually got promoted to an executive assistant.
okay.
And I was like, maybe this is what I was going to do. I was like,
Maybe
I
you're
kinda
not
like,
calling this to be an executive assistant. Totally
you know,
fine.
I'm all right.
I'm
And
good. Yeah. Cool.
And I kind of settled in. I got
Okay.
comfortable. And but then I just felt this, but I was like, nah, this ain't for me. Just working in an office wasn't just. It just wasn't. It didn't feel funny enough. I work in an office now, but working in an office.
Staring in front of a
I
front of a computer right
I
now.
do that right now. Same thing. It's quite interesting that. But yeah, it just wasn't for me. I think I really wanted to do something creative, and I
Okay.
knew it. So the burn was there. So I did call back Threads, and I started
Yeah.
working with them more often. And I was
Okay.
like, just give me stuff. Give me stuff. Like,
How frequently was that?
this started to become pretty much every month.
Okay.
At this point.
Okay,
Maybe
okay.
like,
Okay.
every month. And I actually called them purpose because we had a bit of a break,
Yeah.
in that time where I was like, oh, I'm working full time now. So,
Yeah.
so I did call them back. I was like, guys,
Yeah.
take me back.
Take me back.
I want to work with you again.
I'll do whatever. What do you want me to do,
Take me
guys?
back. There was a few other people that I knew I was working with. I was also doing some work with Hillsong, funny enough. So I was
Nice.
going to Hillsong and I met some creatives there.
Nice.
And I was we were working together on kind of the Christmas show and things like that.
That's so good.
So that was also another push for me to be
Yeah.
like, maybe I need to get out of this job. So all these things were happening at once within those last few years. And there was just something I was just like, no, I got to do it. I've got to do the jump again.
Okay, cool. So we're at a place like, okay, I'm ready to jump.
Yeah.
Like, how did you let your company know? Or how did you
man.
make that decision on this is the day I'm jumping? Was it the same?
It was not the same.
So we didn't do what we did to Apple.
I was not that mean.
We do love you, Apple.
I love you.
We do.
I have lots of your products.
We are sorry. we didn't mean to. It was for passion.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've made the jump.
Yes.
Talking about transition period.
Yes. So there was one main person really. I met a friend of mine, Ruth Antoine. And
Big up Ruth. Love you, Ruth. Hey, Ruth.
And I met her through church, actually, funny enough.
Love that.
Through Hillsong. And we were on the same kind of creative team for a bit. And we just became really good friends. We're really good friends now. And she was one of the people, actually I had a number of people, to be fair, telling me to hurry up and just do what I'm going to do. And lots of family members like, you need to just quit. I don't know what you're doing. But I was a bit fearful because I was like, I had this income and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared to like not make money again.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, it's funny how other people see things in you and you're just like, no. Just sitting there, they're like, you are great. You're like, no. So anyway, my friend works in film and she's been working in film for like 8 years at that point.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, oh, you're an editor, you should jump on some films. I was like, oh, movie industry. Interesting. And it's funny, I said to her, I never actually tried. I did try as a runner once. I did that. I did try as a runner, and that was straight after uni, actually. That was straight after uni.
Okay.
But it was horrible, and I quit straight away.
Just left.
It just wasn't good.
Okay.
But that was like an agency, so you're in for a couple of days, you're out. So I said to her, I don't know if it's for me though. And she was like, no, listen, I'll hook you up. I know some people that know some people. We're going to get you in.
So we can pause for a second. Ruth is amazing.
She got me in.
Yo, Ruth is amazing.
She's amazing.
We love Ruth right now. Okay, so sorry. I just thought it's important to say that. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, so she was like, oh, you really have to. She was like, you got to quit your job. Straight away, she's like, you got to quit. You got to jump in this industry. And I was like, nah, man, you're not sure about this. But at this time, I had no clue what an assistant editor does. I ain't got a flipping clue. Like she's like, I'm an assistant editor. So I don't know what that means. Like I really don't. Because in the freelance world, there is no assistant editor really. You're just editor and director and that's it.
Yeah.
So I said to her, I don't know, But she was like, look, if anything comes up, I'll throw it your way.
Yeah.
But she did warn me. She was like, look, you kind of have to start at the bottom. You got to start. You're not going to go straight in as editor. And she kind of prepped me a little bit on the hierarchy and things like that because the industry is very different. There is hierarchy.
Right.
And she did say, look, I ain't gonna lie, everyone starts at the bottom. You all start as they call it a PA, which is a production assistant. Yeah. Basically, you make tea. That's literally what.
So you're the tea person?
You're a tea person. You run around for people, you run, literally, you're a runner.
But they pay you?
But you get paid.
To be a tea person?
To be a tea person. It's like, I'll take it. I love it. So just like you have to start there, and then you get into training, and you do,
Cool.
But everyone pretty much starts at the bottom, which I appreciate about film actually. Yeah. Because everyone's been there. Yeah. Unless you're the daughter of the director. Actually, even then, you're still a PA. To be fair.
Yeah. There you go.
So she got me in contact with a couple of people, and literally they gave me a call straight away.
Oh, wow.
It was like within the week. They were like, "I got a job for you. Are you interested?" And I was like, oh, right now? Like, okay, I don't know what to do. So someone called me and was like, hey, Dr. Dolittle starting, need a PA.
No way.
Dr. Dolittle, two. Or, I don't know which number it is, but Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah, Dr. Dolittle. Yeah.
And, we need a PA. Are you interested? And I was like, yes, I'll do it. I mean, I've already got prepped and, I know I'm going to be a tea person. It's fine. And it was someone that knew Ruth. So she was like, I know your background and I know it's not great. But if you're interested, it's a good way in. And I was like, get me on this.
Yeah, I'm ready.
But he was like, okay, so you start next week.
Oh.
I'm like, what? Next week? Oh, God. And I'm getting flashes of Apple. I'm getting flashes.
I left abruptly.
I'm like, oh no, I can't do this again. Oh no. So I was
what
like,
did you do?
I don't know. So I actually told him I could do it.
Oh.
And I said, I can do it, but just give me a minute. And I had to go back and check and see if I could leave in short notice. Yeah. And I actually did. I spoke to a colleague of mine. I said, do you think I can leave in like a week?
Yeah.
And they were like, I don't know who can do it.
Okay.
I had 4 weeks notice. I had 4
Oh,
weeks
so you're not
notice.
to
Yeah,
4 weeks.
I had 4 weeks.
Ooh.
It's a lot.
So what did you do next?
Yeah. So I thought, all right, I need to give them the 4 weeks notice.
Okay.
And I had to call back and say, look, I can't do this.
Okay.
I have to give 4 weeks notice.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit too short notice for me.
Okay.
But that gave me the push to just quit.
So you still quit even though
I still quit.
you didn't have the doctor do the little gig?
I quit.
Wow.
I quit. Because I spoke to, I was talking to him, I was talking to, his name's James. I can't remember his surname actually. His name's James. He's great. But yeah, I spoke to Ruth and I spoke to a couple of people that I knew. And her advice was, look, a job can come up any minute. And that experience did make me realise that actually a job can come up
And you can be available.
any minute. And you've got to be available like that. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to quit my job.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do it. And she was like, you can do it, man. You can do it. I was like, I can do it, man.
So, okay, so you quit your job.
So I quit my job.
You have no job in place.
I've got no job.
So what do you do next?
So I called Threads again. I was like, guys,
Okay, we love
I'm
friends.
available.
We love friends.
I love you guys. I love you guys so much.
We are friends with friends. Thank you for being
Guys
you.
are dope. I'm very So I called up everyone I knew pretty much to just fill the gap. Because I knew, it's weird, like I knew something was going to come.
Yeah.
I knew it. Because the way, people were talking, oh, anything can happen. So I'm like, okay, cool. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
So all right, I was like, okay. So I thought, let me try work some things out in the meantime.
Yeah.
And I just went hunting for jobs.
Oh wow.
Just started hunting for freelance jobs. Like I spoke to Freds.
Yeah.
I spoke to Hillsong. He gave me a few opportunities as well. Big up Hillsong. And so they gave me a few opportunities too.
Yeah.
And Threads were giving me some jobs. And like literally, I was getting jobs. Like
lovely.
people were just coming in. Now once I kind of set the bar of like, okay, I'm done now.
Okay.
I'm now a freelancer.
Okay.
It was just coming. It was coming to me
I love that.
in a strange way, and I was like, "It's happening." Next thing you know, I had like 3-4 jobs on the go.
Wow.
I wasn't making loads, but it was just the fact that I was getting work, which was nice. And then the phone rang again.
Same person?
Same person. James, big up James.
Love you, James.
Same guy. He was cool again, and he was like, "Hey, need a PA for Bird Box."
Oh, snap. Bird Box as in the Netflix show.
The Netflix movie.
That is so crazy.
Sandra Bullock. And I was like, excuse me, what now?
Pardon?
And it was
like... what with you? So,
and it was the same thing. It was like, I need you next week. I was like, okay.
I'm available now.
I'm available.
I love that. Do you want me today? I can do today. Okay, cool. So
that was it.
That's crazy. So so what was your role?
So, in the Bird Box.
Bird Box.
So I was a PA. I was a production assistant in that. That was a very different job actually because it was such a small team. Really, it was all based in America.
Yeah.
And they only came over to London to do, they call it a director's cut, where the director will sit with the editor and just spend time before like the studio sees it or anyone else sees it. And that's 10 weeks. It's always set like that.
Okay.
But the director lived in I think it was Holland. So she wanted to come back here so she can commute to Holland and see her family and then take it back to America. Yeah. Which was lucky for me because I could work on the show. Yeah. So it's just the editor and there was a first assistant and there was me. Okay. And that was it. And it was just like a nice little small team. And we're based in Soho. And it was perfect. It was like the perfect job for what I needed at the time. Because I had time to talk to the editor and like talk to the people. Like, hey, what's it like? And it was like, it wasn't so intense. Because when you're on a big shoot, it's so different. Like, oh my gosh, it's so intense. So I was quite lucky in a way to get a smaller job like that. Okay, so then after you've done Netflix, what happened next? So, oh my gosh, I was on Netflix for 10 weeks. And then I got a call. Oh. Got another call. And it was Ruth, my friend Ruth. They got Ruth. And she was like, oh my gosh, I got a job for Disney. For
no, she didn't say that.
Maleficent 2.
No, she didn't say that. I
was like, what? Oh my God, you got a job, it's amazing. And then we were both celebrating. She was like, I need a team. Are you on it? I was like,
no way.
Me? She was
no way.
Yeah. So she was like, okay, obviously you to train up as much as you can while I was on Bird Box.
Yeah.
So I could be a trainee. Is that the next level up?
Okay, cool.
On this show. And I was like,
cool.
I will do it. I will do anything. I can't do
Okay, so now you're working for Disney.
Yes.
This is
Literally.
crazy.
It was insane. And it was literally like, it was 10 weeks. I was on Bird Box from like March, maybe March.
Yeah.
Then I got the job for Maleficent in like May, June.
That's so crazy.
And I was like, this is insane. it
And
was
so
just a
now
step
you're
up.
training, so now you moved up.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long did you do Disney for?
Oh, Disney was a good year, actually.
Oh, wow.
It was a good year. So I was on it from 2019 all the way through to 2018 through to 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay,
That
so
was great.
then I have to ask this question. So in 2017,
Yeah.
you was an executive assistant.
Yes.
Okay, so what was your pay as an executive assistant?
Oh yeah. I think it was about 32 a year, 32,000 a year.
And
Yeah.
compared to what you got paid, did you get paid more as doing the tea lady or tea person, as you called it, and doing like the PA role?
Yeah. It's mad because I did.
I didn't even finish my question. You was like, yeah,
Yes, I did.
I didn't even finish this. Yeah, I did.
Because it was such a weird thing.
Yeah, I did, money.
Oh, I had the money. I had to like work it out.
I just need that. Yeah, I did, money. That's what I think I need in my life. Yeah, I did. Okay, so
And it was weird.
You didn't have to struggle.
I did have to struggle, and it was bizarre because I really thought because when I worked it out, I was like, did I get paid less? I guess it might have been like it was even very close, or just above, because obviously tax and everything comes into play. But
and tax is different because now you're a limited company.
Yeah, because I had to be a limited company, and it was all kind of weird working it out. But I'm pretty sure I got paid more, and I got Bird Box in, which was less, and then I got paid up when I was a trainee. So it was like a bit of an increment.
Okay, because you had the multiple.
It was about £200 difference there, but
okay.
I did get paid more, essentially. Yeah, I was like, I got paid more. I was like,
okay, cool.
Oh my God.
Okay, so loving this now. So then you done Disney.
Yes.
So wait, first you done Netflix.
Yeah.
Then you done Disney.
Disney.
This is like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You did that for a year.
Did it for a year, yeah.
You got to work with your friend Ruth.
Yes.
Who is amazing.
It was dope.
Working with family all over again.
Yeah.
Okay, so after we moved from there, what happened next?
So that year was like a real transformational year, really, because I learned so much in that experience. It was a huge show. It was a huge production. Yeah. And I went from a trainee to pretty much a second assistant, which is like a huge jump. Because it usually takes like another show really to then move up, but I was just on it. I was just like, and because there was so much work to do, I naturally just kind of stepped up.
Love that.
But there was that year was insane. It was long hours. But it was a good show. It was a good show for me to learn that experience, and I met so many people on that show as well. It was brilliant. Yeah. But then I got another offer. The phone rang again.
Was it James again? Or was
it was actually Johnny Winograd, who I was on Bird Box with.
Oh, nice.
So I was on Bird Box with Johnny, and he was the first assistant on that show. Yeah. And I was telling him my whole story. I was like, Johnny. So he was like, don't worry, you'll be great. You'll be great. So he called me and was like, hey, are you ready? I was like, ready for what? And he's based in LA. He's like, are you ready to be a second? Are you ready yet? I was like, what happened? He's like, I have an opportunity. I've got a friend who's an editor. Yeah. And she's starting a new show. Yeah. And she needs a team. I'll recommend you. I'll put you forward. So he was pretty much saying, I'll put you forward anyway. Like, I don't care if you're ready or not.
Yeah, I love that.
And I was like, oh my gosh. He was like, I'll put you forward. I think you had a good year in Disney. I think you're okay. I was like, but you haven't seen me. Like, I'm such a
That is
so he was like, I'll put
crazy.
you forward. I was like, oh my gosh. Bear in mind, I haven't finished this film, so I did feel a little bit bad of leaving early, but everyone was like, people were like, it's an opportunity. Take it. take the thing and go.
So you left early in...
I did leave early, yeah.
Oh,
but
wow.
I did like make it very clear. I was like, look, there's a new deal happening. And I spoke to my producer at the time and he was like, take the job. Like, he was like...
That is so cool.
Because, you know, everyone kind of, especially if you're starting from the bottom and moving up, I think people are very encouraging in film. Like, they're like, no, like, you've got opportunity, go ahead. And, you know, it can be frowned upon sometimes if you leave early on a show, but it's also like if you had to step up, they're like, well, I mean, like, what are you going to do? So I did speak to them way more than I spoke to anyone else.
So let's just break this down. So you take that leap of faith.
Yes.
You do a production assistant.
Yes.
After you've done production assistant, you did a trainee.
Yep.
And then kind of gradually was a second. But then this new gig comes.
Yes.
And it's like, we just want to come in as a second.
Yeah. So that was a huge deal for me personally.
Okay, so you come in as a second.
Yes.
What is the production?
So this is HBO.
Ooh.
It's a TV series based in London. It's HBO. And I was like,
I love that.
oh my God.
This is perfect.
This is insane.
This is so
It's
crazy.
insane.
So wait, so we've got Netflix, Disney and HBO.
HBO.
And this is the moment you leave being an executive assistant. Okay. Wow.
Things are meant to happen. I do not know. Like, honestly to God, like, I had to just give it up for God. I wasn't going to lie. Because I was like, I had to just sit down and break.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, it's not in your own strength. Like, I really wasn't hunting for these. It's weird how things work out in a bizarre way. Sometimes I just put my head down and just work. And I was nice to people. I think that's kind of maybe something that really helped me.
Yeah.
Is that I was hungry, but I wasn't overly like... So you're just being nice. You're being good at your job at the time. So when I was a PA, I was a PA. I was a good PA. And I was a trainee. I was a good trainee. And you want to step up. You want to try and push, but you don't want to over jump the mark. So I think that's what Johnny liked about me. Because I remember him saying that, oh, you're really good actually. I was like, thank you. And he said little things like you just knew when to leave the room or when to give someone space. You knew when to step in. You knew. Yeah. It's just little. It's like this little
all
things.
of that kind of EQ.
Yeah, like just
the emotional intelligence.
Exactly. Yeah. That's really important because sometimes when you're like young and excited, you know, you can maybe over talk or you can like just bother people when they're doing work. But he said, no, you're really, and I think actually in a weird way, the job previously, the personal assistant jobs, the executive assistant jobs actually supported me and helped me in those roles coming back. Because now I'm like, I've got my organising head on. Yeah. Or I know that I've worked with CEOs, I've worked with directors. Yeah. So I kind of know that higher, you know, I'm not too phased with talking to producers or even actors, you know, whatever. I'm just like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Come listen, you know, because I've had that training, so to speak, with the CEOs and directors before in HCPC. Yeah. So you kind of have that background. So actually, in a weird way, I was like, kind of help me, you know.
I love that. Actually, a question I do want to ask is compared to what you got paid in the first year that you left to the second year that you left.
Oh yeah.
When you moved to the HBO shoot and everything else. Yeah. Was it more than the year before?
Yes.
I love the yes.
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 It was. Yes. 100.
That's a good yes. That's a smiling all the way to the bank. Yes.
Yes, it did. Yes, no, it did, and I actually was really happy because, you know, I must say, like talking to people on a level, and being honest about the kind of increments is understanding the rates. Because I would have gone in there blind, like, and actually I had friends that were like, no, actually you should ask for this, or you should ask for that, or you should you should really push and try this.
Did you do any negotiation, or was it like...
There was a little negotiation, and I was really scared. I was like...
So how did that work? Did you say, hey, I want X, and they came back and said... Let's put in numbers. Say you wanted 10, for example, and they're like, well...
Yeah, they were like, ooh...
We'll give you a 5.5.
Oh, our budget doesn't reach. I was like, oh, interesting.
So what did you come? So did they throw back a number?
What did I go for? I think, I went for like a 10.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we can give you a 6. And I was like, how about an 8?
Yeah.
And they were like, okay.
Nice.
I was like, I must say, that was the first time I've done like proper negotiating. Because I was bricking it. And you know what? A friend of mine was like, if you were a dude, you just go in there and you just, and I was like, you know what? You're
possible.
right.
Definitely possible.
Right. So I went in there.
More than likely the case. Yeah.
It's like, get in there. So I did have to like stick to my guns and not be too swayed. But understand that this is TV as well, because features you'll get paid more than features. Yeah. For sure. And then it kind of goes down from there. Okay. So like features is the most, and it's TV, commercial, advertising. So I was aware that TV won't really stretch to like film level. But I knew I was getting a bump up from what I was getting on Disney, because I was a trainee on that. Yeah. So then I'd be a second. So I was like, okay.
Okay, cool.
I gotta push for something.
But balance now, but put you in a positive.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay, cool. So, talk to me about so you've been working on that. Are you still working with them now?
Yeah. We're still on it, actually. Yeah.
So how long have you been on it for?
It's been it's been a lot longer than it should have been, but it's a year. It's been a year and a bit.
Okay, cool.
Obviously because of COVID and we had a break. Yeah.
Oh, so how does that work?
Yeah.
So with COVID and everything else.
Oh my gosh.
How does that affect your day to day?
COVID was like, it hit the industry hard.
Yeah.
We were quite lucky because we already had a bank of shows. Okay. We had like 4 episodes done. Right. So we had those to work on throughout this time. So luckily we were working from home. Okay. And I say luckily because I think I was quite lucky to actually be on this show because I really thought I was going to get cut. Because we had 2 other first assistants, 2 editors. Yeah. So in my head I was like, well, 1 each, and I was the second on the show. So I really thought, oh man, I'm going to get cut. And a few other people, obviously our PAs didn't work, some other production people that were on our team didn't work the whole time. Yeah. And I was also nervous because I'm self-employed, I'm a limited company. I wasn't on PAYE. You can be on PAYE if you want to, but I wasn't. And I was like, oh no, furlough does not reach me. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah. And so, a lot of people were out of work. All the shooting crew were out of work, lighting, filming, everybody. Wow. So it was just a small team, VFX and post-production that were kept, and maybe a few other producers to just carry on, with the episodes. Yeah. And luckily, I was one of the people that got kept on. So we worked from home. We got all our material moved onto hard drives and things like that. Yeah. And we were working from home the whole time. So thankfully, it worked out.
Okay, so talk to me about you've thrown a couple of roles. So you've done the production assistant. We spoke about
like a trainee.
A trainee,
yeah.
And then you have the second. I'm assuming you have a first.
You got first, yeah.
And then you got the editor.
Yes.
So talk to me about that hierarchy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is the way I picture it. Let me know if I'm right. So, a production assistant helps out, make sure everybody's doing what they need to do. And then you have the trainee who watches?
Yeah, so a trainee is like you're a bit more hands-on. Okay. So there is like a slight difference between trainee and PA. Okay. In some places there's one. Okay. But a PA is really just like the runner, the person who just, does little odd jobs, gets food, gets people coffee. Cool. Just kind of keeps everyone fed and watered, essentially. Nice. Maybe printing things, posting stuff, just doing all the kind of odd jobs.
Wait, and that's what you did in Bird?
That's what I was doing in Bird Box. I was just running around.
And Johnny saw what he did in Bird Box, just running around, and he's like, I want to work with her again.
Johnny was great. We connected, man.
I love Johnny. Okay, cool. So
yes,
that's so great. That's so amazing. I love that. So as a trainee, what did your role consist of?
So trainee is a little bit more hands-on. So you actually have a machine, a system to use. We use Avid in film. So you actually have a system. You don't do as much running around as a PA, and you actually get to be a bit more hands-on on the show. So the second or the first might send you some things to check or whatever, and you just kind of get your head around how to use that system more. So that's what I was doing on Disney, is kind of checking the sync, so checking that the audio and picture lines up. It's very dry, but doing those sort of things and just like preparing reels and things like that.
So then when you get to as a second,
Yeah.
that's what you've been doing right now for
Yeah.
HBO. What does that look like?
So a second is really in charge of something called dailies.
Okay.
And that's basically all the footage being filmed on the day.
Okay.
It gets sent to me and I will prep it all to make sure there's no like issues in there, there's no mistakes, sounds good, pictures good, everything
Cool.
lines up. Then I organise it into scenes
Yeah.
and I'll pass those to the editor.
Okay.
Essentially. Yeah, there's a few people in between sometimes. Maybe there's a lab to do all the syncing for you
Okay.
and making sure they put like a little grade on there, depending on the show.
Yeah.
If there's no lab, then we end up syncing ourselves.
Yeah.
So we'll get a separate audio, picture, and smudge it together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of dailies. Dailies is kind of checking everything and then
Okay.
passing it on to the
So
editor.
how long do you have from when you get the footage to when you go back out?
It's like a couple of hours. Like you really try and the aim is to try and get it to the editor as soon as possible.
Oh wow.
Because they need to look at it and make sure nothing's missing.
Yeah.
You know, especially for moments where the set needs to be striped, they call it. It
Yeah.
needs to be packed down.
Yeah.
So the editor wants to see everything before that happens.
Oh, okay.
So it can be a very tight window sometimes.
Okay.
So you really, I'll come in at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes 7:30. So 8 in the morning, try and bang out as quick as possible
Yeah.
to get it to them for like 10 or 11.
Oh wow.
So, yeah,
AM.
AM. Yeah.
Oh wow. So it's actually 2-3 hours.
It's like 2-3 hours, yeah. It's not
Wow.
long. So it's a very quick check. So you're like heads down
Yeah.
on the machine for 2 hours straight.
Yeah.
You just want to get it out and get it to them as quick as
And
possible.
how much footage? Like how much hours of footage are you trying to go through?
It could be anything from like 2 hours to like 4 to 6 hours.
Wow.
Depending how much
Wow.
the director wants to shoot that day.
Oh wow.
But it can go on, it could go on.
Oh wow.
But if you've got a fight, anything complicated, there might be like 7 cameras or, not 7, but maybe 4 cameras,
Yeah.
4 or 5 cameras. Or it could be slow motion, it could be all these different
Yeah.
things and elements to think of. So it can be, a bit of a handful sometimes.
So then, hopefully your next production is going to be maybe a first assistant. So
I
talk to me about the role of a first assistant compared to
So the first assistant really is the editor's right-hand man, essentially.
Okay.
Like the first
woman.
point of call. Or woman, very true. So it's like the main point of call
Okay.
for the editor. And also for other departments, because they're like the liaison, really, between the editor, visual effects, I don't know, costume or any other department will kind of speak to the first assistant first.
Yeah.
Or sometimes the second.
Yeah.
And then that information get passed on to
Okay.
the editor. I mean, the main idea is not to bother the editor too much with things.
Okay.
So all that information, they're like the kind of middle person, really.
So that kind of like the PM, the project
Yeah, a little
management,
bit, yeah.
of dealing with the visual
Little bit.
effects,
Yeah, a little
special
bit.
effects, and everybody else.
Exactly.
Okay.
We also have like another, like producer, and there's also supervisors that
Okay.
deal with that as well.
Yeah.
But the first assistant is kind of that plus a bit more technical. So they're
Okay.
looking at the sound design as well, and we kind
Nice.
of get into post production. You
Yeah.
kind of come out of the shooting phase into post production now. They will do loads of stuff like the sound design, and
Yeah.
there's something called turnovers, is basically just giving our material onto sound or giving it to the composer or any other department, really.
Right.
So there's a lot of kind of checking and maintaining the cut.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and it gets passed on carefully to other departments, and it gets passed back. We double check it, and then we make sure. So there's a lot of kind of stages
Yeah.
in post, and that's where the first assistant really comes in.
Okay.
And the other assistants, the seconds or even thirds,
Yeah.
would be the first assistants.
Okay, cool.
Essentially.
Okay, cool.
Essentially.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So then,
I think that's about it.
So then, as the editor, your sole role, their sole role is just
Yeah.
making sure it looks good, it switches good, it goes
Oh,
out,
yeah.
it flows well.
Yeah, they're the main person who cuts the film or
Okay.
TV show, essentially. And it's the director's main person that they
Yeah.
speak to. And all the assistants are there to support that editor
Okay.
in that process. Like, we're there to just give them whatever they need and, make sure they have everything. So if they're missing something or they need something, or we're there to support them in that. And a lot of the time it comes down to sound, music, temporary music, temporary sound.
Yeah.
Because there's departments for that as well.
Of course.
But we're there to give it a bit of a temporary feel so it sounds good. And then, you know, when someone's watching it back, you're not like, oh. And we're just there to support the editor as much as we can. So all they can focus on is just getting that creative cut in place, which is just the magic. The magic happens.
So, I guess my question is, what made you throw yourself back into kind of editing? Like, do you have any family members that's in the industry? Like, what exposed you to this industry?
Yeah.
I know you spoke about the BBC earlier.
Yeah, actually, yeah. It's weird because nothing really did. Like, no one I know, family, like close family, are in the industry as such. I think it's just the love of watching film. Like, I love watching film. I love music. Love theatre. And I just knew I'll be in there somewhere. I love it. Just somewhere in some capacity.
You're definitely in there now.
I'm in there now.
I mean, HBO, Disney, Netflix, you're in there. You are in there. Sandra Bullock.
Yes, I mean, we're best friends, clearly. But it's weird because, you know, when you go in the industry, I mean, there's this, you know, the whole talk of diversity as well, but there really isn't that many black people or people of colour behind the scenes. Yeah. So actually going, like, when you're actually in the industry, like officially in there, it's like, wow, actually, they need me.
They need me. I love that. But and they definitely do. So talk to me about that work-life balance.
Oh, man.
So compared to when you were doing HCPC and doing freelance work to now where you're working and doing HBO.
It can be a struggle sometimes. Okay. You know, it's just different. Like, we always have this joke about the 9-to-5 life, because 9 to 5, man, it's literally 9 to 5. Yeah. You know, sometimes you might go over, but generally, you know, 5 o'clock is a myth now in this industry. It's like 5, is even at 5. But there is. I think that was a big culture shock for me. Is actually the it's more of a culture than it is written down law. Because really our contracts say, you know, you're contracted for 50 hours a week or 55 hours a week in film. So that time is spread however, you know. Yeah. So generally we kind of work around the editor. So the editor might stay, let's say 9 to 6 or 9 to 7, really. So we're kind of there around that time. If I'm doing dailies, I'm there from 8 till 7. I'm there too. You're there all day. Yeah. So it's rare to leave before 6.
Oh wow!
It's very rare to leave before 6, unless it's a completely dead day. Because you do have, you have times where it gets really quiet, especially in post production. Like way down the line, after we've done all the work, it does get kind of quiet towards the end, and that's probably the time where you can kind of leave early or have longer lunches or whatever. You know, you can enjoy. But usually from shoot to like the kind of the first cut or the second cut, it can be a bit crazy.
So compared to so what do you prefer?
Oh man, it's a tough one. It's almost like you finish work at a nice hour on your 9 to 5 corporate world, but I don't enjoy the job. But I work longer here. Yeah. And I enjoy the job.
But I love every minute of it.
So now I'm like,
Okay, and a tougher question. What do you prefer out of feature film and TV shows?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, I don't know, because they're very unique, but they're now becoming quite similar. Like in this time of these, oh my gosh, these TV shows are incredible.
Of course, yeah.
I had an editor say to me, it's a 6-hour film.
It's a 6-hour film.
Just think of it like that. It's a 6-hour movie.
6-hour film.
And I'm like,
fair enough.
But they are different, because a film, you can have 2-3 editors on a movie. And which I was quite like, oh wow, I didn't know that. But you can have multiple editors on a film, but you're almost all working at one pace. Yeah. So you do the shoot and then you edit and then there's post. Yeah. TV is like staggered. Yeah. So you shoot an episode and then that editor will carry on through post, but it was still shooting episode 2 and it was so there is this kind of like block, they call it blocks. So it feels a bit different because you feel like you're kind of constantly working in the shoot.
Yeah.
And then going, so you're just like, and then you have multiple editors with different episodes. So it can feel a little bit crazy, but from what people have told me, TV is a little less stressful.
But you don't know.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay, so I guess, so away from the technical skill that you have and all of the kind of experience that you got along the way, what do you feel are the raw skills that has made you great at your job?
Ooh, do you know, it's funny because I really thought it was like, oh, you have to learn Avid.
Yeah.
You have to know all the technical stuff.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I don't think you do. Like, you learn it on the job.
Yeah.
Which sounds mad, but you learn it on the job. And I think the main skills that anyone I ask now says this, and I'm like, I get it now. I get it. But like, you just have to be a genuinely nice person. Like, it's so hard to, it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
But you have to just kind of put the work in. You kind of have to just be on it. Be
Yeah.
reliable.
Yeah.
Be trustworthy. Be all those things.
Yeah.
But that does really matter in film because time is like, time is money.
Yeah.
Time is actual money. So you have to be reliable.
Yeah.
You kind of have to keep your spirits up, even though it's tough going, because everybody's struggling. You got to look after your fellow man. You know, teamwork is key up in this place, because if someone falls sick, you got to jump it, or, if you need a tea, I'll get. Do you want a tea? I'll get.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting for the PA. I'll get you a tea. It's absolutely fine. Because sometimes you're working 14 hours a day, 15 hours a day. You're like, everyone's tired.
Yeah.
So if you've got good spirits, like that really goes a long way.
So basically, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, you correct me if I'm wrong. So if you've worked like a Black Friday in retail and you can still be upbeat at the end of your shift.
Yeah, you're down. You're down for this. You're cool.
You can probably,
We want you. We want you.
We want you. We want you. Okay, so people that have, or you've had a really maybe a hard boss, are you a PA or office manager, or secretary?
Yes.
Are you able to have a positive outlook in life?
Yes.
And still crack on?
That is literally it. That's literally it. Because you do come across difficult people. You have difficult directors. You have people kind of talking. Sometimes you get that ego thing going on.
Of course.
And you just have to be like, you know what?
Totally fine.
And there's times when you do have to say something. There's times when you don't. But you have to know that be fluid with it. And also kind of just knowing, just simple things. So one thing I realize that everyone starts at the bottom.
Yeah.
Most like 90% of the time, you're starting at the bottom.
You say start at the bottom, but you came out with a reasonable wage within the first year, which then increased within the second year, which is now increased again. It's like,
this is one thing I don't think people fully realise as well, which is bizarre, because I spoke to a PA and she was like, I don't have a lot of money. I was like, actually, you're not too bad,
Yeah.
But when I broke it down, I was like, actually, the wage you're on is not that bad.
Yeah.
And I had to break it down because it seems bad because you're working so long, and obviously she was renting in London as well. It's different. You're paying rent and all that sort of things. But when I actually did kind of explain, I was like, you know what, you're decent. You're decent. You're all right.
Yeah.
Like, you're better than retail. I say that. You're fine. Like,
you're fine.
And she was like, yeah, good point. We just had to like, because and obviously for her, she had to pay more out. You're living in like, she's young. But I did have to put all those things in perspective and say, like, I was doing all right, actually. Yeah.
So, if you could speak to yourself 10 years ago, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. I would say, you can do it.
Oh wow.
Like you can do it.
Yeah.
And don't be scared.
Wow.
Yeah, because I did have a lot of self-doubt.
Yeah. And
one thing is like, I think if I just believed in myself, I'd be editor by now. No, on a big movie. Because
on my feature film.
I'll be on a feature. I'm there.
I love it.
But yeah, because I was like, when I look back, I was like, there's so many people that were doing it that were, you know, not that great. Like, not to me, but they were doing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should have just taken.
Should just do it.
Just taken the reins and just. I did try. There was moments when I did, and then I kind of, you know, let it fall, and I kind of did again, and then let it fall. So there was this, like, I would have literally said to myself, like, you can do it. Trust in yourself, and just go for it.
Just go for it.
Just go for it. That's it.
I love that.
Things will come, but you really do have to just go for it sometimes. And trust in
that.
yourself, yeah.
That's okay, that's cool. Okay, great. Thank you very much for doing this. I really enjoyed speaking with you.
It was
if
fun.
people want to find out about your stuff or follow you, how they go
wow.
about doing that.
I have a YouTube channel. I actually, do you know, I need to get my. Well, basically, I'm on Instagram.
Okay,
I'm on
cool.
Instagram. I'm Miss Leachy, MS Leachy on Instagram.
Yeah.
And hit me up. That's kind of my main bit, really. I've got Twitter as well, which I don't use that much.
Okay.
But my main one is Instagram. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but
All
yeah,
right.
let me speak to me. I actually recently started doing some talks about women in the industry, especially black women in the industry as well, black people in the industry.
Yeah.
I'm really, really big on that. So yeah, share, talk, communicate. Let's go.
All right, perfect. All right, thank you very much. So this is Let's Talk Jobs. I had a great conversation with Francine. Our goal is to help you get the career, and we want to make sure you get the salary you deserve. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
All right, bye.